Hey everyone, my name's Magnolia, and today I'm going to take you on a build tour of some of my favorite buildings I've done in this world. Let's go! So this world is a shared realm that I have with myself and a couple of close friends, and we built a lot of Harry Potter inspired stuff on here. As you can see, we're building out a castle, we have the Quidditch Pitch, etc. But let me just show you some of the builds that we have done so far. Before we get any further in our video though, I would like to plug my Patreon. For just $2 a month, you can first of all support me in what I do, and second of all, you can download the graphs and Lightmatica schematics to the tree tutorials that I do, as well as any tutorials that I will do in the future. If you would like to just follow my Patreon for free, I will be posting updates on some of those tutorials, as well as some exciting projects in the future. Now, back to the builds. We'll start with this Quidditch Pitch over here. This actually was done mostly by a couple of my friends on this server. I helped with a couple things, like some of the dimensions and colors that we've chosen. Like, for instance, we chose gray and yellow for Hufflepuff because we want these to look like they've been out in the sun and kind of sun bleached out so that none of these colors are too bright, because with the black it just looked kind of obtrusive. And then of course we have these Quidditch goal posts here, and we have our teachers box, I guess they can sit in. And then of course the house boxes for each house. I actually like playing Quidditch here of a sense with these wind charges. I love flying with the wind charges and seeing how many I can get through the goalpost here, like that. Which is tricky because you can't fly at the same time you're holding a wind charge. You can't hit a rock at the same time you're hitting a wind charge. So that's just the Quidditch Pitch, and I really like this. Next up is this boathouse. It was actually the first build on this Harry Potter inspired area. Whoops. As you can see, we've got our teeny little boats coming in here for all the little first years to sit on. And then we have, of course, shelves for the boats and lanterns and whatnot. And this looks very pretty at night, actually. So, just like that. As you can see, this color scheme works really well at night. It's one of my favorites. It's not an exact replica of the boathouse. The one in the movies, I believe, has a spire right here, but I just built it based on how I like it. And in the back here, we've got a little workshop for Hagrid or whoever works on these boats. We've got stuff and invisible item frames all scattered around, and then we've got this boat right here that's been dismantled. See? I'm really proud of this clutter back here. I think it's really good. Okay, and next we're going to go over to this Hogwarts Express build. I'm using the Distant Horizons mod, by the way. That's why we can see so far. And I am really proud of this build. I worked really hard to make this look detailed and pretty without looking too clunky and blocky. So, for instance, on our locomotive engine here, we have signs with these little blocks to spell out words and the number of the train. And then we are using wither skeleton skulls here to create a little bit of texture, and of course our lights. And then I love that I used signs and this chain to make texture going all the way down the locomotive car. I think that's really fun. And of course the bamboo blocks here to create a gold accent to the train without having to use gold because it doesn't have very many like slabs or stairs or anything. So bamboo, perfect replica. Or a perfect replacement, rather. And then, of course, we have our smoke coming out of here. The wheels as well, I like. I used copper rods or lightning rods here to create that thing that keeps the wheels moving together. I don't know. I'm not really a train person, but if you know, let me know in the comments. And let's look inside as well. I actually made this survival mode accessible so you can get in without having to fly, just like that. I'm very proud of that. But this is our locomotive engine. I haven't really done much here, but I do have a little Easter egg. So first of all, you come in here, you shovel coal out of here and in here. Again, I don't really know how locomotive engines work. Don't flame me for this. But if you do want to correct me, feel free to let me know in the comments. Just please be nice. If any of you are LEGO kids or are LEGO adults, you might know that LEGO sometimes does little Easter eggs in their builds where they'll put a little something that gets covered up that's really cute. Like in their recent T-Rex build, I think they have a frog in the T-Rex's brain. I don't know, I think that's funny. But what they like to do is put a little pink block in the middle of a set that you'll never see again. So that's what I did. There's a little pink block here as kind of an homage to what LEGO does. So this is the locomotive engine. And the coal car. And then we're getting onto our passenger cars. Now, I am definitely the most proud of the locomotive engine, but I still do like the passenger cars as well. I have 4. I don't remember why I picked that number, but I think it's just because it looks visually appealing here. And in we go. I will show you the station a little bit later and how students board, but this is how we enter here. Now, I have a bathroom because it drives me crazy when builds don't have bathrooms, and I like having one in here. So that's that. These are the cabins. This is an open door one where you can sit with your friends and put your luggage up here. Just kind of watch the English or Scottish or whatever countryside pass. Over here we have a closed door. As you can see, the door has been slid shut with some of the glass. And here we have an open compartment, but with an open window as well. So that just kind of continues throughout. And we have our connecting path, whatever, right here. And that continues again here. And the cars start to curve because the track is curved. Again, I know that's not how trains work, but here we are. And we make our way back to the final car, and it's just more of the same like this. And there's an option for more train cars if you would like to connect it. And then I just want to show off the outside of these just a little bit because I'm quite proud of it. Again, I've used signs for detailing both bamboo and pale oak, and I just think it looks really nice. We have our fences here. Oh, and our outside of the coal car as well. I'm very, very proud of these builds. I think that they're very good. And now, on past our train, in through our tunnel here, and up to where Hogsmeade is being built. Ta-da! We come out, and these are where students... Woo! These are where students board and disembark the train. Up here, it actually matches up perfectly with the entrance that we have on our trains, here and here. And any students in the back 2 cars just have to come up to the front 2 cars to come out here. So that's that. And we also have this little walking tunnel here. We have this little walking tunnel here that Hagrid takes the first years through to come out to the boats and head across to the boathouse, and that's where they get their first view of Hogwarts, which will be right here. And I do have to point out and remind you guys, this is not a Hogwarts exact. This is not Harry Potter perfect, pixel perfect, etc. This is just inspired by. So in the books, there's not actually this tunnel that goes through the mountain. There's not, there's not the tunnel that goes through the mountain. There's not the Quidditch Pitch right there, the boathouse. Hogwarts isn't going to be spread out like this. This is just what me and my friends liked to do. So back to the station. And here you can see we have these buildings arching over this, and let's go down into the actual village and I can explain to you kind of what these buildings are. We go under here, and these are where all of the other Hogwarts students would come. They'd come under here. This hasn't been built yet, that's why I have wool out blocking where I want it to be. But there's this big old path here that we will follow later to get to Hogwarts. But this is how you get into Hogsmeade itself. From the train station, at least. So this here is actually a tavern. I have called this the Train Tracks Tavern, and in our lore here, this building right in the middle was the original building. It kind of hovered over the tracks here with some supports, and wizards like to meet here for drinks or dinner or whatever after work. But as the years went on, people really liked it so much so that they had to add on separate buildings, which is why it's made of different materials and has different shapes and stuff. So we have this, which is now one of the main buildings in the tavern. If we look inside here, you can see I set it up kind of like a sports bar. As far as I'm aware, which I don't know, I've never really gone to one, but this is how it's set up here. This tower here, let's go inside. Oops. There we go. All right, this tower here is more for romantic getaways. It sells out completely on Valentine's Day weekend. As you can see, it's just 2-person tables with candles all the way up to the top. Ta-da! And if you want to go across here, this is the sports bar area I was talking about. As you can see, we've got some flags hung up that represent all the houses of Hogwarts. And this is not a finished tavern by any means, but we are working on it. And so you come across here, and this is the original area here. As you can see, I have built nothing in here yet, but it's called the Train Tracks Tavern or the Over the Tracks Tavern. I haven't decided. If you have a name suggestion, let me know in the comments. But it looks out over the train tracks, and you can see pretty much everything from here, which is nice. And then we come across to here where there's nothing built again, but there will be tables and chairs and places for people to sit, etc. And we come all the way down here into the main area of the tavern. This will be the kitchen area. This will be a bunch of different tables in here. This will be a nice big round table here for a big group. And then this leads right back up into that 2-seater tavern here. I'm also thinking about putting a adult beverages storage section over there, but I haven't actually built anything yet, so we'll see how that goes. This is the entrance right here underneath the tracks, and if you're an employee, you get back here and back into that main area. So that is the Train Tracks Tavern. Now, if we turn and come back up here towards that entrance that we came through, we will see the start of some of our houses. I only have like 2.5 built, but I will give you a tour of those because I'm very proud. This is the one I'm working on. I'm going to wait to give you a tour until I'm done with it. But this is the first house that I built on here. I built this using some reference pictures from the Hogsmeade set for Harry Potter, as well as Universal Studios Florida, I think. I'm not really sure. But I really tried to mimic some of the shapes, which are very tall with a very pointy roof, and a lot of little squiggly beams here that don't really make a lot of sense, but they're very pretty. So if we come on in here, this is the house. As we look around, we can see lots of shrubbery and storage and this beautiful green accent wall over here. And if we actually come into this room right here, we can take a look. This is our couch. Couches, by the way, are like absurdly hard to build in Minecraft, so this is my best approximation of one for now. But I have these shelves here, some hanging plants, and my favorite thing that I've done here, I added resin clumps to our flowering azalea leaves to give it a little bit of like, ooh, that's a magical plant vibe. And so we will come over into the dining room. As you can see, a little table and the kitchen, which is, I have to say, my favorite area of this house. It's very cozy. It has all these leaves. I think it's just very cute and adorable, and I would love to live in this house. So we have all of our books here and some storage and another little hidden storage cubby. And as we go up the stairs, I will tell you the lore that I invented for the people who live here. So this is a 2-person house. They are sisters and roommates, and they used to be very close, but not maybe so much anymore, but they do live together. So this is the first sister's room. She is the one who grows all the plants. She is a potions master and prefers to grow her weird exotic wizard plants at home, so she's not spending money on them. She has this nice view outside here, nice comfy bed with a carpet and a fireplace, and just overall very cute, cozy room. And the second sister, the older one, lives in here, kind of plain room. It has the fireplace again. She studies a lot because she's in school, and she has a carpet, just kind of a simpler room, a little less cozy, but a little more functional. And the plant sister has kind of taken over the house with all of her different plants. We have this balcony out here. And we have an attic, which is where our story really gets told. So the younger sister grows plants and is a potioneer, but the older one actually had a dream long ago to be a clothes maker. So these are all bolts of fabric here. See, they're all stacked up. And some of her old projects. And now this older sister, she has abandoned her dream of being a clothes designer because it didn't seem practical. And she's pursuing her studies, and she is kind of down in life. And eventually, or maybe even very soon, her younger sister will convince her to pick up clothes making again, and that dream will take flight, and they will both live happily ever after. And that is house number 1. This is a little aerial view for you. Backs right up to the path here. As you can see, this is where our little plant alcove balcony thingy is. And on to house 2. The lore for this one is that a single person lives here. She recently went through a breakup, and she is just a botanist. She loves growing plants for the sake of growing plants. And she and her ex-partner made this together, but she keeps it up here because it's too painful to have in her house. But she had to move because she no longer had a place to live once she broke up with her partner, and she's been very depressed, and she hasn't really bothered to unpack yet. But she is re-finding herself through music. So this is a piano here, and if we go upstairs, she has a full drum kit here, which is very fun. As you can see, her moving boxes haven't really been unpacked. And I love the open layout of this house. We can just come up to the bedroom here and see the entire house pretty much. So, like I said, she hasn't really unpacked. She's kind of in the thick of it, but music will help her pull through and kind of decide what to do with her life. And that is house number 2, the botanist. I am so proud of this terraced garden area here. I love the texturing I've done with scaffolding and the fences and the trapdoors and the brick wall, and I just am very proud of this. A year ago, I could not have built this with this much detail and texture, but here we are, very proud of it. This third house does have lore, but since I'm not done building it yet, I'm going to wait and make that a separate video, and that is the Hogsmeade area. There is just a little bit more of the path and the builds to show, but before I do, please hit that subscribe button if you like this content and want to see more of it. It would mean a lot to me. I'm trying to hit 150 before the end of July. So back to this entrance over here. If you remember, this is how we got into Hogsmeade, but this is the carriage path that students who are not first years will take up to the castle. As you can see, it's pretty long, pretty meandering. But, you know, it's a magical school. Who says it needs to be efficient? This is kind of a mock-up area. This is our work area over here. As you can see, we've been kind of mocking up some of the living quarters and a tower here. And because it's just Hogwarts inspired, we decided to make this more of a college-style school. So it's not really for 11 to 17-year-olds, but more for adults who are looking to study magic. So we have this nice, spacious common room with study areas and chatting areas. And then if we come up here, we have a little balcony because I've always loved the idea of the Gryffindor common room having a balcony. I cannot for the life of me remember if it's canon, but in my heart it is, and so here we are. And we'll head up, 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 up to our rooms, which I'm just going to show you one because they're all pretty much the same. We have our heater in the middle. We have 3 different beds, and of course, you guys know I love realism. Boom, bathroom. There are 7 more levels in this tower, so we have a total of 8 rooms. But in the middle, we do have a common room. Another one. This one is more of a study room. As you can see, lots of little tables and places to study and some barrels for snacks or books or whatever. And this will lead out to another tower. If we look down here at our little work zone, you can see that the towers connect with a little bridge. This will be that bridge, just like way over there in the distance. And we'll continue up to my favorite part of the tower, the roof. I love the design here. I think the colors we've chosen are phenomenal. I think the floor texture is so unique and pretty, and I think that these fences are just beautifully placed. I love the shapes here. So it curves up and around, leading our eyes to the light right here, but then also up, up, up to these support beam structures with all the light, just like that. And this is my favorite part of the tower. Now, I also think that people who like have Quidditch practice will just grab their brooms if they live closer to the top of the tower and just fly down to Quidditch practice, and I think that that's really funny. Now, this isn't where the tower is actually going to go, but if it was, they would definitely hang a flag right there, just like that, to kind of show their allegiance to Gryffindor House, because it's Gryffindors. What do you expect? And let me show you where things are going to be placed. This will be one of the main towers right here. As you can see, we're still working on placement and where we want the exact classrooms to be, but then this will be our living quarters. If you remember that little mock-up we did, this is the realization of that. We have our 2 huge Gryffindor towers. We'll have another small one right here, and they'll connect with a bridge right across. And then we'll have a Ravenclaw doing the exact same thing over here. And then below us, this is where our Hufflepuff and Slytherin dorms will go. Now, my friend is the one who is designing that, and they have some phenomenal designs, but I don't think they are ready for those to be shown to the public yet, so we're going to wait until they build them in this actual placement here. I believe that is all of our builds that we have. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you have a comment on some things you liked, some things you think could be improved, etc., leave those in the comment section below. And if you would like to subscribe, please do subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.